Okay, we're moving it in here. I was just out there a second ago, but I don't know. I think the audio is kind of weird, and my brother is playing with the dog right now, so we're just gonna bring it in here. This other one, it's called Oh yeah, I said yeah. Sorry for the abrupt cut. My phone ran out of storage, so I just trimmed it a little bit, put the other one up, and now I'm reading the other one. So let me just. I started reading this, but unfortunately it got cut off. But let's just restart. Let's just go for it. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. All right, we have fun here. We're a fun hospital. All right. Yeah, yep.
He got it off.
How the hell did he get that off?
I don't know.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna restart again in case my phone runs out of storage or something. We're just reading this one's called Oh, who cares? Honestly, it's about Shrek and Farquad going to town. It's a new one because I ran out of storage, so I'm just making another video. Wrote it a bit, but I forgot most of it. It's pretty stupid though. All right. Silently, Shrek lay awake in his bed. Too many thoughts have been surrounding him lately. Is Fiona really the one for me? Can I truly love her? Do onions really have layers? Shrek worries about these things endlessly. Suddenly, Fiona wakes up, or perhaps she was going through the same thing Shrek was. She gets up and walks to the bathroom. Thank God she finally left. Couldn't stand to be around her for a second longer. Shrek marvels at the fact that he now can't stand being around the woman he once loved, the woman he had children with, the woman he fought for. He sits up and waits for Fiona to come back. He needs to end this now. Fiona comes back, and when she sees Shrek awake, she seems a little startled. With a hint of disgust, she says, "What are you doing up, swine?" "We need to talk, you whore," he responds. "Look, can't do this anymore. Thought you were the one. Thought that I'd love you till the end of time. But lately, I just don't think that anymore. I'm not sure what I should think." "Shrek, she tries to blurt out. "Don't try to change my mind on this woman. You know we've been on and off for a while now, and plus lately," he trails off. "What is it?" Fiona questions worriedly. "Well, Fiona, I think I'm gay. Whenever I see a hot man, say Esteban Julio Ricardo Montoya de la Rosa Ramirez, for example, I just feel all tingly inside, like I'm an onion about to get cooked, sweet, savory, and layered." "Shrek, I didn't know you felt this way. Why haven't you said anything before?" "'Cause, Fiona, men aren't supposed to be like that. Just plain disgusting," Shrek said, bursting with confused anger. "Who told you that? Your father? Remember, Shrek, that's the same man that tried to cook you as a child. It's not the best to take ideals from him," Fiona said supportingly. "It's okay, Shrek. I figured you were gay for a long time now, especially with your obsession with anal and gay black thugs." "Thank you, Fiona," Shrek manages to finish. They lay silently for the rest of the night, eventually trailing off to sleep, but Fiona falls asleep much faster than Shrek. The next morning came, and Shrek confronted Fiona again. "Fiona," he said, "I'm setting up to find a man I can be with, a man I can be happy with. I want you to know that none of this is your own fault." "Don't worry, Shrek," Fiona responds. "We just weren't meant to be. I'll have my stuff back to the castle by the end of the week." "Thank you, Fiona. I couldn't have asked for a more supportive ex," Shrek jokes. "See you around." And they parted ways, never to be in each other's loving embrace again. Chapter 2. Farquad. "What do you think you're doing in my kingdom?" Farquad asked the pixie flying around the village. I know that you know about the law forbidding any fairy tale creatures in the kingdom." I'm sorry," the fairy said. I just, my family is starving. Town was the only place where I could get any food." "Irrelevant," Farquaad responded. "Why didn't you just go to a town in another kingdom?" "There are no other kingdoms, you ignorant pig." The pixie gasped as she realized what she just said, but more importantly, who she had said it to. "What did you just say to me?" Farquaad belched. "That's it. 50 years in the dungeon. But, no but, escort this fine young lady out of here. Hey, Cody. What's going on, mate?
What's this about?
It's about Shrek and Farquad. Yeah. I finished the other one, but I needed more content.
What was the other one?
It was part 2 of the Chronicles of Shrek and Jesus.
Alright, nice.
This one's got 5 fucking chapters.
Have fun.
Alright, thank you. Although the pixie struggled, he couldn't escape, and soon the screams of anguish were drowned out by the closing door. Farquad thought, how long to it? 5 minutes, jeez. Farquad thought about the fairy tale creatures often, about how disgusting they were, always thinking of ways to get rid of them. But Farquad had but one weakness to these creatures, one that he could never admit to anyone, barely even to himself. Ogres. Ever since Farquad saw his first ogre at age 5, he was always turned on by them. Of course, when he was that age, he didn't understand. But as he aged, his taste in ogres became more defined. Tall, he thought, layered, smell like onions, and male. The last part was the hardest for him to admit, that as he had always been a ladies' man. But when it came to ogres, there was no denying the fact that men were superior. I can't stand myself, Farquad would always say when this topic came into mind. It's absolutely disgusting, he'd try to justify. But no matter how hard he tried, he could never get the thoughts out of his head. Although the fairy tale creatures would be more than overjoyed to hear about this, if he were to get an ogre boyfriend, surely the rights of the fairy tale creatures would be reinstalled, giving them their freedom back. Finally, Farquad forced himself into a decision. He was going to look for an ogre boyfriend. If I can find one by the end of the month, he thought to himself, then I will not exterminate the fairy tale creatures. But if I don't, all creatures, including ogres, will get brutally tortured and murdered. And so, Farquad set out in disguise, dressed as a commoner, to find his true self, the self that he could be happy with. Chapter 3, The Meeting. Shrek left in such a hurry that he wasn't even sure where he was going. After he left the swamp, he wandered mindlessly for a few hours, and he was soon lost. He still wandered down a road, but he had taken so many turns that he had no idea what he was doing. However, soon he found a sign that said far, far away. Thank onions, Shrek exclaimed, glad to see a familiar landmark, although sad memories of his time with Fiona filled his head. He shook them off with the hope of finding a new love. Farquad left the castle. He decided to go to the bar before he set out on his adventure to find a broger to fall in love with. He drank a few drinks before he decided to leave, but as he got up, an ogre walked in, big, hulky, and with a certain scent. Onions. He's perfect, Farquad thought, his palms starting to get all sweaty as he walked up to the ogre to introduce himself. Hi, my name is Farquad. What's yours? Me, he responds. I'm Shrek. You need something? Could I maybe buy you a drink? Farquad said, nervously. Well, laddie, if that be all you wanted, you should have just said so. Farquad was relieved beyond belief. Just play it cool, he thought. Don't ruin this. This is the one and only chance you'll get with an ogre. If you mess up, it'll be all ogre for me. Oh my god. What's on your mind, laddie? Shrek asked, wondering what could be on the mind of this hot hunk of a man. How'd you like to rent a hotel with me tonight? It's on me. What kind of man do you take me for? Shrek said. This is it, Farquad thought. I've blown it. I'm sorry, Farquad manages. Whatever for, Shrek laughed. Of course I'll come with you. Shrek picked Farquad up, with mostly credit to the drinks, and carried him off to the Love Hotel across town. He happily ever after. 9 minutes in. Chapter 4, True Love's First Kiss. Shrek carried Farquad into the hotel and threw him onto the bed. They cuddled for a little bit and looked into each other's eyes, feeling the moment, feeling what seemed to be, and very well what could be, true love. Aye, laddie, have you ever kissed an ogre before? They say there's a faint taste of onions on their breath, if you can handle it. Oh, Shrek, I can do more than handle it, Farquad said. Farquad then proceeded to passionately make out with Shrek. Everything was perfect. His hand hand on Shrek's face, Shrek's hot breath, everything. Farquad started unzipping his pants, but Shrek stopped him, blurting out, "Aye, laddie, what do you think you're doing?" "What do you mean?" Farquad responded, rather stunned. "We haven't known each other for a day and you're already trying to fuck me. This is all you are after. Sex." Shrek started tearing up. "No, it's not that, I promise you." I knew this was too good to be true. I should have just stayed in my swamp. Shrek turned to leave the room. "Wait," Farquad cried, but it was too late. Shrek was gone. Farquad had driven him out. If only I could have just kept it in my pants. None of this would have. Don't look at me!
I'm going inside.
Alright, I'll be in soon. I'm just reading the last fucking...
You're too gross, don't come inside.
Alright.
Fanfictions suck.
Yeah, that's why I'm reading them. Shrek ran out of the hotel, tears streaming down his face. He went to a vendor and bought an onion to help try and cheer him up, but it didn't work. Shrek was completely and utterly destroyed. He was going into another hotel, but the tears of memory started swelling in his eyes, and he couldn't pull himself through the door. So he ran away and hid in a back alley. It started raining, but Shrek didn't care. With the betrayal he just felt, nothing could make him feel any better. Nothing. Farquad was so stunned, so ashamed. How could this happen? He thought. I never thought I'd mess up so badly. Farquad was equally as destroyed as Shrek, but Farquad had something he needed to do that kept him going. He had to apologize to Shrek. He ran out of the hotel, and it started raining, but he didn't care. All he cared about was finding Shrek and apologizing. Even if he and Shrek couldn't hook up afterwards, as long as Shrek knows he meant no harm, that would be enough. "Have you seen any ogres around here?" he'd ask all the town people he saw walking around. Fortunately, ogres aren't that common of a sight, so he was quickly able to locate the ogre. "Shrek!" he called out as soon as he saw him. "Farquad?" Shrek said, lifting his head. "Shrek, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have taken things so fast. I should have respected the fact that you weren't ready yet." Farquad. "Aye. Thank you. Shrek, I promise to never hurt you again. But only if you promise to never make me worry like this again." Farquad shot a smile at him. "I promise." Farquad helped Shrek up and kissed him. It was a risky move, but Farquad just couldn't resist. Shrek smiled and said, "Aye, laddie, could have waited till we got back to the hotel." But then quickly kissed Farquad back. This wasn't an ordinary kiss, however. This was the kiss of love. The kiss of true love. That they were truly meant to be. The happily ever after. Again, just like earlier that day, Shrek carried Farquad... Oh, sorry, it's a lot of mosquitoes. Wait, what the fuck? Shrek carried Farquad into the hotel. This time, however, Shrek was ready. The tension in the air hung like an elephant on a clothing line. Shrek pushed Farquad onto the bed and playfully and lustfully smiled at him. This time, Shrek took the initiative. He ripped off his shirt like he was the heavyweight Super Slam superstar holding onto the title belt for 3 years in a row. Ready to slam! And he tugged Farquad's pants off. He looked at Farquad's dick, roughly 6 inches, and licked the tip. Free cum already oozing out of it. Shrek giggled and said, "My laddie, you sure are a salty one." Farquad blushed out and said, Shut up, I eat a lot of onions, so you eat onions a lot too, eh? They're my favorite." And after the last word was said, Shrek shoved Farquad's dick all the way into the back of his throat. But since he has a giant ogre mouth, it cannot reach the back of his throat. Which, while it was slightly disappointed Shrek, he was also a little glad because his gag reflex couldn't be activated. Shrek was the absolute best at giving a... Oh my god, there's a teeny bit left. Shrek was the absolute best at giving blowjobs, and was somehow able to lick all the sensitive areas of Farquad's penis. He licked the side slowly. "I have 30 seconds. Shit, I'm gonna have to finish this in another video. Hold on. Okay, just a second. Oh, just a second, fellas.